I'm sharing it to Heather's timeline. And welcome everybody to episode 104, the Happy 4th of July episode. I'm your co-host Steve, and always joined by
Charles.
And nationwide, with his fireworks going off in Illinois, but his Detroit hat on. Look at him representing BV via satellite. The BV cam is right over there. We see him.
What happened to you?
I'm checking the Facebook Live, and
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we're going out.
okay, good.
BV, you got us live? Are we
Just started
live?
to see video.
Cool.
All right, so we got live. We got new gear. Charles is always pushing the edge. Do you want to explain what the lighting that we got over there?
So basically, we're now able to take all four cameras, meaning me, Steve going out live to Facebook, BV, and then one of the studio going live out. So I'm trying to no longer have to do this in post. I'm trying to do it all as we kind of go through. It's going to be a train wreck until I get comfortable with it, so just bear with us. But as the show kind of morphs and all that kind of stuff, that's what I'm trying to do. Heather came in like she had something to say. Yeah, no, we're live on the air. What's going on? Just wanted to say hi. We're talking about the new tech that we got pushing here, so we're going to try and see if we can't do it live and go from there. That's how we're going to roll. So anyway, Steve?
And Bill, you're seeing the video on Facebook moving, right?
I am. It's bouncing around. It was, the pan out that it went into Charles talking. I see the little, the notes in the black screen in the back. And
for whatever reason, it's not showing live on Heather's page.
I don't know. Maybe we're killing the internet in the house.
That's probably a Facebook thing. So anyways, let's get it kicked off here. We're in day 387 of coronavirus. I don't know what it is. And the good news is, well, there is none. It's all spiking. And there's a giant war going on between maskers and unmaskers.
Yeah, it's very political.
So there's that. And then I saw a news article that I wanted to share with everybody. Swine flu might be coming back from China. They found some pigs, and there were local workers that were slaughtering the pigs already have the antibodies from the swine flu, so they may have contracted swine flu. So welcome back to 2020.
Yeah, and
more good news.
My boss contracted swine flu before, so this isn't new to me.
No.
Anyway.
This is a new
this
one.
is obviously, but the biggest thing is, and I put it in the show notes, and I'm sure BV can see it. There's also a bunny Ebola that's out there, too.
Yes.
I don't know. It's some kind of respiratory issue that's striking the bunny population, apparently, in Southwest United States. I don't know.
Goddamn rabbits aren't even safe this
It's
year.
2020, man. Strap in.
Murder hornets, coronavirus, and dead rabbits. And now pigs. Pigs are trying to kill us again.
Yeah.
So along that lines, Disney, wanting to open on July 17th, really trying to push it, but I've seen numerous articles where the workers are not happy and don't want to go back. So we'll see what happens there. There's going to be no hazard pay or anything.
Because the one that's in China or whatever opened up, right? So the Asian one already did its thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, Shanghai.
But the communist China really locked everyone down. No one was protesting, and their stuff dropped way, way down. Or they just quit testing and didn't care, said no more. I don't know. As of here, any place that is warm is spiking essentially.
Apparently, so Wiggs, friend of the show, Heather said, posted on Facebook, he was at some beach somewhere, and she said it was just inundated with people all over.
I think
the
he's
beach.
on Lake Michigan. Isn't it Lake Michigan he's at? I don't know. I shouldn't give us a location of the way.
Yeah, he might be dodging out some work.
So, but
nonetheless,
he's, Side note: if you do want to wear a mask, and you feel that it'll help you, Target has a
everywhere does
2-pack of masks for $4. Though that's the cheapest I've seen.
Meyer had the surgical ones as you walked into,
and they fit my face. They were an extra large. They fit. Well, the ones Michelle bought, my ears hurt because it's so. These fit my face for $4. So you get a 2-pack for $4 at your local Target, extra large. If you got a fat face like myself, you need that size.
So we finally went to Costco for the first time since all this kind of broke out. Mm-hmm. That place is still crazy.
Oh,
dude.
Costco's, any wholesale warehouse place is nuts.
Still nuts.
Home Depots are nuts. Myers and Kroger's are nuts. Lowe's, of course. We don't want to take it serious. Is Best Buy. I've been to Best Buy.
I walked right into Best Buy. You
Really?
talked about like getting
Yeah.
coupled with someone. I didn't have any issue.
Maybe
I
they
walked
gave
right
up after a week. They were like, you know what? Screw this. So
They're
some
like,
people
"Dude,
come
we're
in.
done with this whole virus.
Yeah,
shit.
I don't know what happened.
We can't
so.
afford the payroll or something.
Yeah. So next, let me tell you a story, Charles. Let me tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you a
Strap in,
story.
baby.
Bill knows this story. In 1992, there was two chubby shift managers that worked at the 50s McDonald's, and we got a new store manager. He's a big dude. What was he say, Bill? About 6'3", probably 380. He was all gut. His name was Mike. Remember him, Bill?
Mike Potter.
Yes, Mike Potter. Mike Potter, what he liked to do, he liked to bet on the sports. That's what he liked to do.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact,
Like the ponies or like any kind of
anything, it didn't matter.
He was
a shredded
He was
degenerate.
an old school guy with a bookie on the phone.
wow.
He'd take the paper while at McDonald's
Yeah.
and was laying bets on baseball and stuff.
Wow.
One time so badly that I think the last month we worked with him, he just ditched town because he owed so much money. And then we never saw him again. But what Mike Potter introduced BV and myself to, at least me, I can't speak for Bill, that I never knew existed was Sports Talk Radio. And Sports Talk Radio was AM 1130. This was 1992. So what are you talking, almost 30 years ago now? Maybe, pushing it. I was introduced to the Stoney and Wojo show. Art Regner. I know Bill called in one time ripping on Art Regner.
I don't want to interrupt you or whatever, but like they all went to 97.1
Yes.
the ticket. So anyone who made any kind of waves on that AM show back in the 90s
Migrated.
kind of went off onto whatever.
Yeah, and that was late 90s. 97, 98, 97.1
Yeah.
kicked in, and then everybody went over there where there was more money and a better signal.
Whatever happened to who was the afternoon guys that really got good pub at one point?
Stoney and Mojo.
No.
yeah.
I'm talking about on 97.1. Dominski and Doyle.
Oh,
Whatever happened to those
I don't know what
guys?
happened to them.
Yeah.
But the reason why we're bringing this up is WDFN The Fan is no longer. As of this week, they are now Black Information Radio.
What does that mean?
It's all news about the black community. Really, that's in talk shows based.
Like, is it just like black issues and like what's hitting the community?
Black Lives
and
Matter,
stuff
stuff like that.
Oh.
The whole radio station is that now, and there is no more WDFN The Fan. Now, granted, it was a shell of itself compared to the 90s when Bill and I first started listening to it. But another sports option gone, which kind of sucks for me because I listen to usually in the afternoon.
You don't listen to that. You don't listen to
No.
The Fan.
I listen to 97.1 and 1230
Well,
with Tiki and Tyranny. But when both of them are on commercial, that's my third option.
flipping through.
I don't have a third option
I
now.
gotta tell you, Valeni's great. I love Mike Valeni. I can't
He's
say
a
enough.
you that knows a lot more sports.
Dude, I love him. He's good.
You
He's
politically, you guys agree with
yeah,
everything.
I love it. Everything. BV, who you got out in Chicago that you're listening to?
I listen to Sirius, so pretty much just ESPN radio if I'm going to listen to sports talk. But I really listen to sports talk in quite a long time because there's really nothing to talk about.
Yeah, even Mike Valeni's just doing COVID talk pretty much now.
Yeah, so
It's a pretty
But
big
I do
deal
remember,
right now in the
like-
country. I mean, no offense, but it's probably a big deal.
But to Steve's point about back in the day, I mean, this was all there was for sports talk. This is kind of the infancy. In fact, I remember when I first started listening to the Fan. This was actually even before Stoney and Wojo, the main afternoon drive guy, and I can't remember his last name or his actual, but he went by the Mega Man.
Oh, I remember that.
And he was a real big
long
Michigan
time ago.
State slappy.
Yeah.
Then he eventually moved on to something else, and they eventually brought in Stoney and Wojo, and then there was that whole I can't remember Greg. I can't remember his last name, and Jamie Samuelson in the morning.
Yeah,
and then,
Jamie Samuelson's still on 97.1.
Yeah.
is he? Okay.
Yeah. Jamie Samuelson's still in the market.
The Greg guy moved to Texas, I think. I can't think of his last name. Greg, he was one of the founders of this.
Greg
shit.
Young Peter.
Yes, Greg.
Because Chicago does have a local, an ESPN, well, I think it's called ESPN 1000. So they actually have an ESPN radio affiliate, which is their main sports talk channel here. But I usually just listen to the national feed on Sirius when I listen to sports talk.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, in the late 90s, man, like, I love Jim Rome. Jim Rome was
He was on
great.
AM 1130
Yeah,
for a while.
but
then he
like
switched-
that
The
late
tour
after-
stop we
yeah,
went to.
dude,
Yeah.
it was great. I got to admit,
He
man,
is still on AM
he is
1270.
so good, like, because he just mixes it up, and I love a good mixer, you know.
He's on 1270 still, so he is still out there. That's mostly national stuff on 1270. So Tiki and Tierney, Jim Rome, stuff like that.
I think the national stuff's a lot better than
Pat
a lot of the local
McAfee.
stuff, but Valeni does translate really well. He just does really
He's actually national, I guess. They syndicate his show.
Do they
quite-
really?
Yeah.
he's a big New York guy, so I'm not,
he's syndicated in quite a bit of
not
quite a bit.
shocked by that fact.
So, R.I.P. AM 1130, The Fan. Welcome, Black Information Network.
That's crazy.
So that was the news this week, and I brought it up because I know Bill and I both right around the same time started listening to it, and just because of Mike Potter. He was such a degenerate. I wonder what happened. I met him.
Did they talk a lot of like gambling lines and stuff? Like how did he?
No, but they would give insights on who might be sick that week, might be out because of injuries locally.
Oh, so a little insider.
A little
deal,
bit,
yeah.
not a lot, but there might have been a gambling show on the weekends or something. I wasn't sure back then. Bill, what do you think?
Well, yeah, and I at the time I thought that I could beat the line, so I started doing a little bit of sports gambling too.
You degenerate.
So I would just
Maybe I can beat the line.
He'd call into his bookie.
Robert De Niro Casino.
Yeah, I had.
I went on a real. I was winning very very much when I started out, and then this was a horrible. I forget the exact. This is like early '90s. It's like the heyday of Nebraska, and I ended up betting $150 because I was up about $200 or $300.
And mind you, we were only making like 300.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
$300 a check.
I had built up like $200-300 from like $20 $30 bets, and I bet $150 on a Thursday night Nebraska game, and they were.
It had $200 to his name, dude. That's totally.
Is that the one against Missouri?
Betting. Yeah, that's totally.
No, they were up by 27.5 points, and literally
no way.
four string guys in, and the freaking the scrub ass team they were playing kicks a field goal with like a minute and a half to go, and ends up. Nebraska wins only by 27 instead of 30.
He lost $150.
And then I paid the $150 that
Had
I owed,
$50 for the next 2 weeks of his life, dude. Did he
never used his bookie again.
Oh man!
But he did suddenly I think it did have something to do with gambling because he just one day he
cut down. He just disappeared.
He left the company and he disappeared.
Nobody knew where he went.
Dude, that's like some Soprano shit. You don't.
The follow up to
You
that.
don't want to ask questions.
Well, he didn't die because 6 years later. 6 years later, I'm at the Vinoy and Michigan Avenue Taco Bell, and he's a fucking store manager. I'm sitting there ordering something. I hear, Steve, how you been? And he comes out and sits with me, and I'm like,
that's cool.
I was like, what happened to you? He goes, I had to leave town for a little bit. But he didn't
really
say
wanna
why.
talk about that.
He didn't say why. I mean, he was a big dude. I mean, he was a massive man, but Jesus Christ, it was pretty
He was
funny.
into some shit, huh?
Yeah, it was funny. Mike Potter is a name from the past to go with WDFN. As things change as you get older.
Yeah.
Now, as we talked about last week, we like you especially like Beyond and Impossible meats and stuff.
Yeah, I like the plant-based stuff.
And to my surprise, I knew Starbucks was coming out. You guys knew that Burger King had one. I did not know that. So this week, for our taste test, now mind you, these are about 7 hours old. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I got croissant sandwiches with the Impossible
Let me show this
sausage.
to the camera here.
I don't know which camera to show it to.
there's 75 cameras going at once. I got it on the main studio camera.
Now, Bill, you've already had this, right? And what did you think?
Yes, it was not bad. It wasn't.
Much.
I didn't think it was one of the best of the Impossible sausage sandwiches that have been out so far. I think that Dunkin' Donuts is the best, but this was all right.
So here's my thing. First of all, it's a plant-based sandwich with a big-ass chicken egg on it. What's the point of this?
Well, you didn't kill a pig. You just killed the chicken.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I got to say,
You wouldn't know if someone didn't tell you.
they didn't tell me. I wouldn't know. And this sausage is not as dry as the regular sausage I had this morning from them. Bill, watch us eat. Please explain what Impossible Burger is made out of.
Go ahead. I'll put you live, BB. What's going on?
Well,
you.
What now? You want me to explain what Impossible?
Just a joke.
It's a bunch of vegetable oils packed together with some weird proteins. I love the taste of it. I like the Impossible products.
Have you had this?
I haven't had this particular one, but the Impossible Whopper, everything Impossible I've tried, I'm a huge fan of. We talked about it. I believe in the Warren Buffett form of investing. If it's a product you can stand behind, that's the place to put your money. And as soon as that IPO comes out, I'm plunking down hardcore cash on Impossible. I'm all in on Impossible.
How much
stuff.
a share you think it's going to be?
Oh, it's gonna be a fortune.
$1,000 for
Well,
one
yeah,
share.
if it's based at all on the when the Beyond went, their IPO just skyrocketed. It started at 25, and within like a few months, it was like 125.
It's all right. Because I'm telling you, I am in on that 25. As soon as it hits, I'm going. I'm dead serious. I love their product.
This tastes just like sausage. If I didn't tell you it's not sausage, you'd
The
never
same,
know.
but
Now,
you
they
gotta
could have
admit-
put a real sausage
Yeah,
patty on
buddy.
there. I don't know.
You know, there's some Stephen Charles who's pissed at the day in the back going, these assholes, this chubby bitch ordered 6. He's just threw a regular sausage patty. Because I can tell you, the way that Burger King cooks their sausage from someone who has been down this road before, it's disgusting. They deep fry their sausage. I don't know if that's how they do the Impossible patty. Many years ago when I worked at BK.
Well, if they deep fried this, then that kills all the point, right?
No.
Well, the point is for it not to be
Yeah.
for it to be vegetarian.
The biggest
They never
point.
said it was healthy.
Yeah, it's not healthy. It's got just the same amount of calories and fat and all that kind of stuff. It's the environmental impact of your meat, your beef, and all that kind of stuff. Stuck with the ethical quandary that BV's woman happens to have quite a bit. I love the Impossible stuff. Everything I've had, if you closed your eyes, you wouldn't know. The Impossible Whopper is a huge thumbs up.
Yeah, I give it thumbs up to this one.
I bet you it tastes great when it's not reheated for 6.5 hours.
I tell you what, though, that Impossible sausage tastes more moist than the real sausage I had this morning. So I don't know what they did to the real sausage, but that one tastes better. I was expecting to eat a cardboard sandwich. Now, has Abby tried these?
I don't know if she's had the Burger King one or not. I know that she really likes the one from Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, wow.
And she's a regular on the Impossible Whopper.
I have big thumbs up to both, but I don't know about the health benefits. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But I got to say, I like both of them.
I like it. All in on Impossible stuff.
Yeah, the burger, the patty itself is much more healthy than sausage or a beef patty. But when they put, to Charles's point, when they put a big, greasy egg on top of it and cheese and whatnot, you kind of,
defeats the purpose.
Well, vegetarian, not vegan for starters, because there's all kinds of animal product there, byproduct, and it's not healthy by any stretch. And then, of course, you know how Burger King's notorious for just destroying your frickin' burger with just massive quantities of mayo. They do the same thing to the Impossible Whopper. So
yeah, that's just pure chicken, eggs, and oil.
yeah.
And that croissant's terrible for you, too.
I love a buttered
As a
croissant.
diabetic, they told you to stay away from croissants right away. That's the only sandwich
It's
I
like
give.
number one is a croissant.
Yeah. I was wondering about this, too. So Burger King has the Black Forest ham croissant, right, where they have ham on there. You always hear Black Forest ham. Where is the Black Forest, and why do they call it Black
Is it
Forest
just
ham?
the style of what they coat the exterior in?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. I don't know what Black
either.
Forest is.
I don't know.
Bill, any idea what the Black Forest is, where the Black Forest ham comes from?
No, I don't have an answer for that.
God damn it, BV.
Bill, what the hell?
Black Forest ham does tend to be tasty, though.
It is good. I just always wondered why. I'm going to have to look that up one day. Why they? Now, I will say I have ordered the Impossible Whopper on my own after the podcast, so I do enjoy it. And I would order that Impossible, as long as the price isn't much more. I don't think it was. If it's comparable.
We bought the ground product of the Impossible, made those enchiladas like I was telling you about. We paid a pretty big premium for it. I want to say it was like $7 a hat, like 12 ounces or something like that. So by the pound, you can figure it's about $10, $11 a pound. It's not cheap, but it's great.
They've nailed the taste. I don't know what they
It
did.
also, when you cook it, it oddly bleeds and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what wizardry is in this, but man, I'm all in. I give the Impossible a 10 out of 10.
Years from now, they'll be
it.
like, it wasn't really impossible. It was just real meat. We just didn't tell
Someone in a
anybody.
factory that just low key.
Yeah. It was just a real cow. We just said it was
I'll be honest
impossible.
with you, I would not be that shocked. It's that close. I don't know what's going on in there. That's wizardry, man. But anyway.
All right. So I big thumbs up. 10, I don't know about 10 out of 10, but 9 out of 10, considering what it is and how it tastes, and I've tried other dietary kind of burgers and stuff that taste like cardboard. These are good. These are good, hands down. I can't argue with them at all. Now, if you get your Whopper, you probably shouldn't put a load of cheese and fucking half a pound of mayonnaise. Even though I don't want all that mayonnaise on my Whopper, a little mayonnaise is fine. But Burger King goes crazy with the mayonnaise.
Again, I worked at BK towards the end of my illustrious high school
Fast food
days.
career.
Yeah.
Your fast food run.
Yeah. So BK, unlike Mickey D's, doesn't have a gun. BK does the mayonnaise spatula to tub. And people get really heavy-handed with that. It's just like, dude, I don't know.
He's up on the mayo.
Yeah, you need a more consistent. The guns at McDonald's, it must have a patent or something like that because it's such a consistent amount of product. You need that.
Yeah. But even though the mayo guns, that's a lot of mayo. Like
Dude,
McDonald's McChicken, it's a lot of
sure,
mayo
yeah.
too. It's like
so imagine
I've
that
pumped the
same
brakes on-
dollar, but someone's hand doing it.
It's like I like mayo, but God, you guys kill it. It's
killing
like
that
a
mayo.
mayo sandwich sometimes. All right, so this week was 4th of July weekend, and what is more independent than seeing a musical about is he a founding father? I think he is.
Yeah, that checks out.
Hamilton. I saw Hamilton
This
this
is a
week.
big deal. It was all
on
over the
Disney
interwebs
Plus.
and all this kind of stuff, and people were kind of posting
Yes.
their reactions.
And
we talked about it last week. I slacked on it, BV did, but you did your homework.
I did
and
my
you
homework.
Watched it.
Watched it Saturday morning with my wife. I gotta say, I didn't hate it.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll
Which,
say that.
I'll be honest with you, that's a little better than
Yes,
Yeah, ditto.
but I will tell you this: everything before the butt doesn't matter. It was way too long. It was 2.5 hours. They give you a
is there
1
an
minute
intermission
intermission.
at
A
that?
1 minute intermission.
Oh, okay.
And from what I understand, there's a scene they cut out for Disney Plus. I guess there's
Oh,
a
so they
race.
streamlined it in a way.
Yeah, a little bit. So you got one scene, but I don't care. So this was the thing that every white woman and middle-aged white woman in America had to see. Like Bill was saying, the tickets are $200 a piece. Jeez. I saw it on Disney Plus that I've already paid for, so it wasn't a big deal. There's no, I don't know what you think about musicals. All right, I don't mind a Disney animated movie where they're acting and then a musical breaks out.
So
and
in
then
other
go back.
words, the Beauty and the Beast, if you will.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
It's like, Gaston's
Yeah.
entrance, and we've got a
Forget that. This whole thing is song, song,
It's
song,
dialogue
song.
into dialogue
There's
into dialogue.
no stopping and acting.
okay.
So that is a little much for me. But and I'll give it credit on set design was nice. The costumes were really great of the time period. The people singing and dancing were all. They're talented. More than me.
But I don't think that so that play made so much loot. I don't see how they couldn't have had fantastic production
Yeah,
value. And all this
I
kind of
guess you got a point there.
And the
But
one
what
thing I'm sorry to cut you off, but like the one thing I like about going to professional productions is kind of I went to a Molly Ringwald play with Heather a while back, and I'm amazed by some of the things that they can kind of craft and do live.
Yeah.
I do have to respect that.
I don't see those, but I did see a lot of the Disney ones. My wife was a big
Okay.
Beauty and the Beast on stage. And
But
stuff
the
like
production
that.
value is
Oh,
cool.
yes,
Yeah, you
they're
can
very
appreciate
good.
that.
Yeah, I do appreciate it. And Hamilton did a pretty good job at that. And they had a stage with a circler in the middle of the floor, so they can simulate like walking as
It would
the
rotate
stage.
scene
Yeah,
to
yeah.
scene.
So it was
That's
kind of
neat, yeah.
So the technical stuff behind it, I thought was really good. I mean, the music. It's not.
Is
I
it the
thought,
OG production? Is it the original production with Lin-Manuel Miranda?
Yeah,
or is
he's in it.
It's
from 2016. They tell you in the
so
beginning.
they filmed it that long ago?
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
Lin-Manuel Noriega, whatever his name is.
Wow.
The only knock on him, I'll give him now. If he wrote all this, if he wrote 2.5 hours of random rap songs about Alexander Hamilton, he's a talented man.
Yeah.
But he's not the greatest singer.
Oh, okay.
There's some scenes where he sings, and both me and Michelle are like. When he's rapping
dragging it, yeah.
and doing that, where it's kind of like rap talking almost, that's fine. But there's a section where he actually sings because it kind of gets into his love life type of thing. I felt, like I said, it was 2.5 hours, so it felt too long. Like the first half was about an hour and 25 minutes. If it ended there, I'd give it like an 8. I thought it was that good.
Wow.
But unfortunately, I had to sit through another hour and 25 minutes.
He didn't know when to wrap that mug
I
up,
was
in Steve's
like-
opinion.
I was
dude.
like, ooh, this is
Steve's
way
got
too
the
long.
light on. Wrap it up,
Yeah,
son.
I was like, bring it home, bring it home. Where's the ref?
Yeah, dude.
'Cause then
You're waiting for the music to play.
I mean,
really
it
loud.
covers everything from the time he's like 10 all the way through his birth of his child, his death. Oof. And I always thought it was 90s rap that was manipulated into somehow. It's not. It's all original music made.
So he didn't take original songs,
no,
Weird
no.
Al style.
Yeah. No. It's all original stuff. because someone told me a long time that it was like, oh, it's like 90s rap, and he uses it to describe. That's not the case. It's all originally scored and made by him and the orchestra guy, whoever's down in the pit. So it's interesting. It's not terrible, but God, is it long. Michelle felt that it's only 2.5, but it felt like 3.5 hours, especially when you hit intermission. It's like, it's only intermission? I thought it was over.
He's looking at his watch.
Yeah, because it covers the Revolutionary War, and then they won it and stuff, and him and George Washington goes to
like,
the
wrap
president.
it up, son.
George Washington becomes president and makes him the treasurer. So I'm like, all right, well, that's got to be it. Then like intermission. I was like, no! So because of the length, I will give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
But I feel anyone... Now, do I want to see it again? No. I'm not a musical fan. I didn't care about Moulin Rouge. When Disney movies start doing all the musical stuff, I like Pixar better because they do less singing. Like Frozen, that's my biggest knock. It's just too much singing.
I think I'm in the camp as you said initially. I can tolerate a song or two. And but Moana didn't bother me. I think Moana's a fantastic motion picture.
It's like here's a song, there's some acting,
and we went into some stuff.
Yeah.
If it's one into the other, I'm good. Yeah,
it's long. So, but it's not terrible. You know me, I was expecting to go into hate every minute of that, but I didn't. So now I'm going to go into something that is terrible. And I didn't put it up there. This is a twofer on this one. Two Hulu original movies.
Okay.
The first one, The Postcard Killings. This is Jeffrey Dean Morgan. You familiar with him?
He is Negan.
Negan on The Walking Dead.
You do have a weird affinity.
I like that guy.
You do. You really
He was
do.
in Batman vs Superman. He played Batman's dad. He was in the original Watchmen movie. He was in the movie The Losers.
I'm not gonna say I'm anti-Negan, but you got a serious man
I like
crush
that guy.
on
I
Negan.
did.
You do.
So I saw this. So
You do.
This is one of those murder mystery thriller type movies, right? It's written by James Patterson. So it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan, written by James Patterson. Murder mystery thriller. Oh, this should be a no-brainer.
It was checking a lot of boxes.
It was terrible. So I am convinced Hulu and Netflix just sit around Hollywood going, "What you got left over there that you're not going to air? I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take
about
that."
Will Ferrell one.
Oh yeah. So that's another prime example. And but so his daughter ends up getting murdered by a serial killer in London. So he's a retired police detective from New York, has to fly, and he starts helping them all. And when he does this, he's in on it, and there's this couple. It's not really that much of a thriller because you know who's the murderer almost right away. So that's kind of a bummer right there.
So it becomes a fugitive type movie.
Yeah,
much,
them
like
just trying
chasing.
to catch them. Yeah, and it's very low budget. And it's got a lot of weird we have a low budget, so we're going to do some camera tricks to make it look more high budget.
Hey, I'm doing those same camera tricks right
Yeah,
now.
I know.
Don't you dare rip on camera tricks.
I'll give your production a higher value than this one. And then Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I like the guy, but there's one thing he can't do in acting, and that is crying, because he has to cry a lot in this.
He's extra weepy and weird.
It just doesn't sound.
Steve
His crying was terrible.
He got some Negan drama. Come out.
This gets a whopping 4 out of 10.
Whoa.
Oh, this was not good. They even leave it up for a sequel, and I'm like, I ain't watching no sequel to this one. So follow that up with Little Monsters. Now, I saw a trailer for this about a year ago.
What is Little Monsters?
It's got the black girl from Us, that creepy horror movie with the family, the mom from that.
Okay.
And Josh Gad's in it.
Jesus, I got with him in it later.
Oh, yeah. Well, this one's just as bad. So
Jesus.
the concept is she's a preschool teacher, takes her kids to a daycare, like farm and stuff. Josh Gad's like this children's show host. He's like, and then there's this other guy who just loves wants to fall in love with the black girl. So, of course, what happens? A zombie apocalypse breaks out while they're at the petting
BB
farm.
can't get enough of those lately. BB, tell us how much you're into a zombie apocalypse movies.
Oh my God! Don't get me started with that.
Well, this one was supposed to be a comedy, and the only highlight was Josh Gad, because he was in the souvenir store and just telling all, "We're gonna die, you little fuckers," and he's saying it to like little kids and stuff. Okay. So he was funny.
He was a bit extreme.
It was all Australian. The movie was all Australian, filmed in Australia, made in Australia. So everyone had really thick Australian accents.
Including Josh Gad?
No, he didn't.
He was an American tourist.
He was an American guy on tour for the kids show.
So, but of course, he didn't know how to act and all this kind of stuff.
Okay. So the concept was there, but boy, the execution was bad. This is another whopping 4 out of 10.
Steve,
I'm done with Hulu original
instead
movies.
of the 6 out of 10, Steve's gonna go to the
Hulu
4
gets
4s,
man, because these are bad. Now there's 2 left, but they're not Hulu originals. One is Parasites on Hulu. I want to watch that.
Okay.
I haven't watched it yet. You have.
Lukewarm on it, yeah.
And then there was another one. I can't remember the name of it, but it must be stellar if I can't remember the name of it.
It's so good you can't remember.
I'm so gun shy now after watching those 2 Hulu originals that I'm not too hot on that one. So finally this week I did play a new game. It was Darksiders Genesis. Now this is also out for consoles and everything else. Steam had it on sale for $19, so I couldn't beat that.
And pimp the YouTube channel because you put
on the YouTube channel you can watch some gameplay for an hour, and then also I put the final boss on there if you want to see the final boss, the final boss fight. It is a Diablo 2 like game. I'm gonna say like
it's a dungeon crawler.
Yes, kind of. But here's the difference: is that the top down look, right? But the one problem, and I know this is sacrilegious because everyone loves Diablo and Diablo Star. How dare you? I mean, let's be honest. It gets a little boring when all you do is click on the Diablo. I mean, there isn't much else.
You and those real-time strategies, like ready.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, Diablo, you're pretty much doing it.
You're just kind of whipping around.
Yeah.
The guys.
This one, you can jump and there's puzzles to solve and you can explore some. So it's like Diablo, but you add another layer of game control and gameplay on it. So it's a really good game. I really did like it. It's like 17 levels. And you can play with 2-player co-op if you want, or someone online. The Darksider storyline is all about the horsemen of hell and stuff. You're one of the horsemen, and they all got different unique weapons. You can switch between the 2 characters. There's 2 characters you can pick from. So it's cool. I liked it. Good voice acting. Cutscenes were just still images, though. That was a little.
Yeah, because one of the things that the Blizzard type games do is they do those great cutscenes.
Yeah, this
like
doesn't
that.
have them. It's just it's like graphic novel look where they're just sitting there and then the text comes out. But at least they do voice acting. Yeah, so they took a little more time. Maybe I acted them out. So the way it is and the price at $19 on sale at Steam. Steam's having a summer sale, which I need to stay off of because I also got Hitman 2 coming next week because that was only $17.
I tell you what, some of them Steam sales will suck you right in.
Yeah,
you
they
end up with
do.
some crap. You're like, I don't even know.
Yeah,
it's
like,
$4.
I know this came out 2 years ago, but I missed it then, and now it's only 17. So I have Hitman 2 coming. But I'd say if I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it a lot, actually. Now, do I want to run through it again? No, I'm not a big fan of that. Are you, when you beat a game, are you eager to go back and do it again?
No, there's a lot of, like, they talk about on the Bombcast and stuff like that, too, where it's like, they want to go back and, like, platinum them or, like, get a complete and all that is not my thing, usually, because there's a lot of, like, to your point, like, video games are art to me. I don't want to get to Siskel and Ebert and all that kind of stuff. I do think they're art. And, like, I want to hear the story, but then, like, the second go round, like, I just heard the story.
Yeah, it's like, even though I can watch the same movie like over 100 times.
Yeah, there's way more commitment in a video game.
I did watch it. It was on cable this week. I had to watch it again. Days of Thunder came out unedited. Man, some Cole Trickle.
Rooker, man. I got the Rooker.
Rowdy Burns.
It's a
Mellow
good
Yellow
movie.
Car.
I do gotta admit.
It sucked me right in. I watched all 2 hours of that. But Darksiders is an 8. Hulu original is pretty scary. So, Charles, you sign up for Apple TV or something?
So I didn't sign up for Apple TV. I got it free, and we're going to talk a little bit later. Me and you are the official podcast phone has gotten blown off as to BV's point. Like, we have the same timing. My Stylo 4 freaked out, and I got an iPhone SE, which we'll talk a little bit later because I spent some hard-earned money on that phone. And so with that purchase, I got a free year of Apple TV Plus, which works out great for the Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah, you got to let me know how good that is.
I can't wait for that.
Or just give me your login.
Yeah, also true. Unless Apple's listening, and we don't do that because we're on Apple iTunes because I checked us out. I subscribed on a new phone.
That would be wrong.
Yeah.
The moral of the podcast, BV.
Yeah, thank you, BV, for being the levity that we need. I checked out a few shows on there, and I got to tell you, one was a complete misstep, and one was pretty good. And it was shockingly enough. So the first one came up, and it's called Central Park, and it's got Josh Gad, and it's got the same animation team that does the Fox show Bob's Burgers. As soon as you see it, you go, that's Bob's Burgers.
Okay.
But the problem is, and you hit the nail on the head earlier with the Hamilton stuff, we got way too much singing. We got way too much. Josh Gad, I get it. You were in Frozen. You were Olaf, whatever. You were in plays, and you live in New York. This show's terrible. Okay, there's a bunch of people that are in it that are names and all this kind of stuff, but Man, avoid Central Park. I'd give that a 2 out of 10. We got through the first episode and we were like, what did we just watch?
I bet, huh?
But now there's a little gem on that service, that Apple TV Plus service called Amazing Stories. And now this is an 80s show that I don't know much about. Apparently, it's kind of like the Twilight Zone meets Black Mirror, but it's not as intense as, you know how Black Mirror is like a guy's raping a pig and all this kind of stuff, and it's just way too intense. This is a little bit more like, it's got a little science fiction-y twist and like an hour-long episode, but it's not full Twilight Zone. There's no aliens or X-Files type stuff with it. But it's kind of a low-key science fiction storytelling. And me, Heather, and Lauren all enjoy. We watched 2 episodes of it. We're totally entertained. Like the first episode was 2 guys renovating a house, and he found something, and then he got sucked back in time to when the house was new, and then the girl from the back in time came back to the present, and he got stuck in 1919 and stuff. It's not crazy premise stuff, but it's just done. It's shot really well. Steven Spielberg's attached to it.
That's probably why.
And it's a really good show. It was one of those things where like that was a little gem.
Did you get time to watch the Jason Momoa show on there?
No, C is on the list of we gotta check that out.
Yeah,
I'll
let
talk
me know
about
if
that
that's
probably
worth
next
watching.
week and see what's going on. But hey, I got 12 months for free just by buying a new phone, and the phone was only $350. So
Yeah,
I was like $60 for free basically. So I'll take it.
All right. Now I watched a little of this with Michelle, but not much. America's Got Talent. You guys watching it?
Yeah, so I watched it, and I don't know.
For the record,
BB,
Bill's
do
got
you-
an old
yeah.
America's Got Talent. That's not the current.
I've never seen it.
You've never watched America's Got Talent one time?
No.
You're not missing much.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's really not that amazing. So basically, they finally got to where the coronavirus and the COVID stuff hit them. So now Heidi Klum went out sick. They brought in Eric Stone Street, who's the big guy off or Modern Family.
Cam.
Cam. And so it's really awkward to watch this with no crowd. I didn't realize, like, we often talk about, like, sporting events and how they're kind of tweaked and all this kind of stuff. This is incredibly awkward. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. The other thing that was of note, too, Howie Mandel gave his golden buzzer to a spoken word poetry guy.
Why?
I gotta admit, I'm not a spoken word poetry guy. I know BV's a huge fan of it.
What?
He goes to all those poetry slams and all that.
You know.
Impossible sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why do you
One
taste so
Slam
good?
is one of my favorite movies.
I gotta tell you, it wasn't terrible. Was it golden buzzer worthy? I don't think so. But yeah, I just had to bring it up because it's kind of fun, and it's hard to watch these acts live with no audience. It's really adding a wrinkle to the show. Who the hell are you feverish of these? Steve's over here.
I'm trying to get into the Google, my Google Drive, so I can look at the notes.
Oh, okay. You having issues seeing it on the TV or something?
Yeah, I can't see through your head.
Oh, okay. Well, there's that. But anyway, so the other thing I watched this week was that Eurovision movie. So this is, like Steve said, Netflix and Hulu line up to get some extras. And they're just like, what do you got that's a crappy show that you probably can't release out of the theater? Give it to us and we'll put it up on our streaming service as long as it has a name in it. And that's what this is. So this has got Rachel McAdams, I believe, and Will Ferrell.
Anybody else? Or is that pretty much the only two you recognize?
I don't know. It's got Pierce Brosnan playing his dad, too.
Oh, okay.
This show is terrible, dude. It's one of those ones where it just makes Steve so right on Netflix. To go from a great show like Home Game into this terrible turd of a movie, oh my God. So, like, the Eurovision, which is like kind of, from what I gather, it's like the weird America's Got Talent of the European countries, apparently. And Iceland had an issue where, like, Demi Lovato, who was going to be the Iceland pick, got blown up. So then Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams have to go and represent Iceland. This is a turd sandwich. This is one of those films. It's like a George Clooney movie where it's like, it must be fun to film it and, like, to laugh at Will Ferrell on the set.
Well, from what I understand, because I did look a little bit about this, I didn't watch the movie because it's
Dude.
Eurovision's a real thing.
I know. It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like an America's Got Talent kind of competition or whatever. But Steve, this movie is just a complete abortion. I don't know what is going on here, man. I am not into this
Were the
at all.
songs at least amusing?
No, like it's like bad pop music because you know how Will Ferrell like he'll keep going with something to like actually make it seem like he just will keep beating it as much as he can in order to make it seem like it's something
It's kind of funny.
yeah, it's just, dude, this is not a good movie at all. So avoid Eurovision. Like I said, 2 out of 10 again. Put this with Central Park with Josh Gad. Eurovision with Will Ferrell is a terrible movie.
So there you go. Now, full disclosure, Tyler saw it, and he liked it, but he likes musicals. So
Why does Tyler like musicals?
Because he's a weirdo.
I can tell by looking at him, he loves a musical.
Yeah, I was shocked to hear
he's
that
just
too.
saying he's into musicals to be extreme, right?
They say he puts them on and listens to them. I mean, we're all in like the next segment. We're all into our own weird things, right? Yeah. So, but he admits it's a terrible movie and it's not funny. But for some reason, he half-ass liked it. So he'll be one of the few. So there we go. So Hulu and Netflix movies still suck. I was surprised by Hamilton, and I liked the Darksiders. And Charles liked one show on Apple, and he's going to work on some more this week. Now, I did finish the Mobile Suit Gundam UC. Which UC means unicorn, which is weird.
Last week,
I don't know why. 8 episodes, hour long each episode. I got a problem. The problem is, did you see Godzilla, the first Godzilla?
Okay, first of all, you have an odd affinity towards these shitty monster movies.
Yes, I do. But the thing that everyone bitched about the first Godzilla movie,
it was like in the backdrop and they never showed him.
Yeah, the same thing is with this show. So they'll give you 5-10 minutes of Gundams, either in the beginning or the very end. And then the other 45 minutes is just these wacky characters doing whatever. And it's like, just get to the giant robot shit. It's like if I made a Transformer movie and didn't show you the Transformers to the last 10 minutes of the movie. That is my problem with Mobile Suit Gundam and pretty much all of them. And of course, there's all this long, rich history crap that you need to know about going into these things. It's like Dragon Ball at this point. If you just step into Dragon Ball, you're going to be like, what? What's going on? And this is kind of a little bit like that, but I get the gist. You know, so there's Earth, and Earth has colonies out in the solar system. The colonies have united and want to be independent, almost like, kind of the U.S. and England back in 18 or 17, whatever. Yeah.
Try 1776.
Yeah, that's what it was. So it's kind of the same kind of storyline. So they're fighting each other to become independent. And then there's a princess mixed in, and some of the characters have special powers. They don't explain why. They have weird special psychic powers, but never explain why. And then there's like a young group of cadets that are training, and of course the one ends up inheriting the unicorn mobile Gundam suit guy, and he's the most important one. And
Wow.
It went super Japanese animation. When it goes too deep, when they come out with the weird hair and the kids, they're supposed to be young kids, and it's like, here
Extra
we go.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So it lost me. But when the robots came out and started shooting each other, I was like, hey! Oh, it's gone. Hey! Oh, it's gone. God. So it's great for something in the background, but I can't recommend this. I know there's probably some two diehard Gundam guys out there in America, and I like the robots. I think they're cool looking, but you got to sit through 45 minutes of weird fucking Japanese anime character people, and they all scream and run.
Because no one walks anywhere.
Yeah. So, and everything's super
Studio
important, and it's so weird. It's lost on me. I'll just appreciate the models and leave it at that. I will look for different animation for next week. Now, Bill, you didn't read anything this week?
No, I was trying to finish the stuff I was already reading.
Okay.
So I get done with that, and then I was looking. I just didn't see anything that looked interesting enough to buy. I'll find something. I'll have something for next week. But yeah, no.
All right. Well,
I don't want to just read crap for the sake of reading it, because it is a bit of a time investment. So I'm going to try to find something that's worth reading, and then I'll.
Okay. So now this.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I did learn, and we talked about this a little bit last week, that if you're gonna buy a book that's supposed to be like a political expose and it's already out in the media, they've already covered everything that's worth knowing about.
Oh, so it kind of kills it.
600 pages and multiple.
So they don't give you spoiler alerts on political books. Is that what you're trying to say?
Just complete waste of $16 and about 5 hours of time I'll never get back.
Oh wow.
So.
Well, I mean, there's that. They did capture Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. She'll be dead any minute now.
Oh, when the Clintons kill her.
Yeah.
There
Well,
you
no.
go.
Allegedly, she already has COVID,
Oh, wow.
and they're moving her to a hospital. So
Allegedly-
it won't be long. before-
Allegedly, at this point, everyone's got COVID.
Well,
man.
she's got the I
Jeez.
need a ventilator COVID.
Oh,
so
okay.
coincidentally, so she got arrested.
She's on the old I need a ventilator move.
Yeah,
D dead.
Yes. So, but now, Bill, I need your opinion on this one because this is the one that Madden 21 has released a lot of new features and stuff like that, and to no one's surprise, the one mode. The Madden has some modes. All right, there's online play. There's Madden Ultimate Team. That's where
You went on a rant in these shows.
Well, that's just I just copied and pasted.
Oh, okay. I was like, holy cow.
But
Steve's gonna go
that's
through.
so the one mode that Bill and I and even Gabe and Tyler and all them all play is the franchise mode. You want to take a franchise. You know what you want?
Yeah,
you
you
want
can play a same team over multiple years,
Yeah.
manipulate the front office.
say you're the Cardinals.
It's a great thing to do. It adds an insane amount of value to that.
Yeah,
game.
well, the franchise mode over the years of Madden has been neglected. It's a poor dog in the backyard, never gets fed. It's just
okay.
stuck on a chain.
It's 95 degrees outside
So
today.
yeah. So I mean, there's some features like even in the old college where you could start off as an offensive coordinator and then become a head coach. Not available in the Madden. How about if Larry Fitzgerald retired and then someone could hire him as a receivers coach? Not available in the Madden. So there's a lot of stuff in the Madden. You want to change your uniform to something new and cool?
Let me
Can't
ask a
do it.
question, though, because Madden is notorious for it. So we're in between console generations.
Yes.
Is this a nerfed version to meet the new polish
No,
of
this
a
is coming
console?
out on the current gen.
Geez, then yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, this isn't because they're switching. So that means next year when they do switch, there's going to be even less features.
jeez.
So let me just go. Okay, so last year Madden 20 introduced X
Hold on,
Factor.
let me put the camera right on your face for this. All right, go ahead.
Last year, Madden 20 introduced X Factors. X Factors are special, like Lamar Jackson can run really fast, so he has an X Factor for the jukes
makes
and stuff
sense.
like that.
Yeah.
So one of the new franchise features this year for 21 is new X Factors in the franchise mode. So a feature they already gave you last year is a new
Are they
feature.
going to flesh out more characters to have it? Is that what they're implying there? Like, so
I
in
don't
other
know
words,
what
if
they're
I've got
implying
a pancake blocking lineman, am I going to have like a really? But then the problem is, doesn't that skew the game a little bit?
It breaks the game a lot now.
'cause we're trying
like
to
Lamar
get-
Jackson has one where he becomes untackable and untackable and you can't catch him. So
now we're into like super Tecmo Bowl era.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Bo
So
Jackson.
people already hate the X Factor as it is.
Yeah.
So not only are you getting
We
more of
doubled
what you
down
hate,
on
you're
it,
double
yeah.
downing on it, and which could have been done in an update. Didn't need a new version. They expanded the wild card playoff for franchise. Well, guess what? The NFL expanded the wild card playoff, so they had to do that anyways
To keep it as a simulator.
To keep yes, authentic draft for all 7 rounds and authentic rookie contracts already in the game. Return to every position abilities to better consider. So they're tweaking the abilities and overalls for Madden players. Okay, that's a patch. Better dev traits, upgrade the season, not checking correct stats. So all this stuff that they're doing, it's like 6 things. Better overall formula for positions. All this stuff can be done in a patch on the current Madden. This is so there.
Yeah, but Madden has lived in iteration.
Yes,
Madden has
yes.
for years
But
wanted
they've
people
nev-
like you and Gabe and everyone to just come on back for a new copy.
But here's the problem with that.
they don't patch.
They are adding features and stuff into the Madden Ultimate Team where you got to buy the packs separately. So pay to
So
play.
they're pick and choose. pay
Yeah,
to
so
play.
they're neglecting the franchise intentionally. So it's a terrible broken mode, and you'll say, "Forget it, I'll go play Mud." And then for Mud, if I want a good team, I got to drop about $100.
Yeah.
So that's why they're doing.
So
this.
they're funneling you to the paywall.
Yeah, which sucks. And the paywall it's like arcadey. You open a pack, you might get Michael Vick as your quarterback or Barry Sanders as your running back. It all depends on how much money you pay. Bill, any thoughts on this?
Well, this has been my problem with Madden for the last at least 5 years, if not longer, is that they've gone away from turning it into the cool part about Madden was always it was the closest thing to a game playing simulator you could get. And now they focus so much on the arcade aspects of it, things like these X factors and those special teams. I forget exactly what you mentioned what they were called, but
Mutts.
I don't want to go get online and find 4 glitches in plays that will work almost every time I use them, and then draft some crazy all-time team with people that are don't even have to be good, but if they're fast, you can use them and they'll dominate. I mean, that's why I soured on the game, and I'm done buying it. There's no point because they stopped making it worthwhile for your traditional, football simulator player.
Yeah, but the problem is you're kinda sounding like the guy who still wants like NHL '95. Is all I'm trying to say.
That's fine.
Like the problem I will say this, and this is my opinion on this franchise, is exactly what I just touched on. They're so money hungry because they pay so much for that license in order to turn any kind of profit. The problem is inherently the system that they have to get. The NFL is just not giving that to anyone. So they have to nickel and dime you.
And the problem is the Mutt thing's working. They made almost $500 million on it last year.
$500 million.
Yeah, so that paid for their licensing and easily.
He's talking $500 million.
So us players aren't very smart either. We're all forking over the cash. So of course they're going to put the time into it. It's a real bummer because I just want it to be good. And there's like 50, there's so many features from past Maddens, not even from different games, that they just ripped out. And it's the coaching one I told you is in the college football 2014. Yeah. You can't bring something over
but you can't
from
even buy it.
7 years
hold
ago.
On. College football 2014 is a gem of a game.
Yeah,
you can get $1,000 for that thing on eBay right now.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's like your own company has done things and you can't bring them over to make a great franchise. But come on, of course they can, but there's no money in it for them, right? You want to buy that golden pack
bills,
with Barry Sanders and his special jock strap. Yeah, we'll do both. Yeah, especially if you made $500 million in 1 year.
Listen, EA can barely keep the lights on.
Yeah, really. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm tempted to wait and buy a used copy just so if I have to buy it because it's football and it's crack and I gotta play it because I don't play fantasy football.
Seems like I'm not too above it. But
I might wait a week and actually give GameStop my money just to spite EA.
Dude, I don't know. Get it while you can because GameStop ain't gonna be around.
Yeah, well, I'll find a used copy somewhere. It'll be online, eBay, whatever. So there we go. There's a look at the new Madden franchise where if you're a huge franchise player, you're screwed. Now. They did add another mode with
super positive.
I don't know if Bill played it. It's called Long Shot or Face of the Franchise. It's kind of got short cut scenes and stuff in it, and you take a quarterback, but you can only be the quarterback.
So you're only playing the offensive plays.
Yeah. You're only playing pretty much the passing plays. You hand it off, you're standing there. So that's back, and they've added a lot more to that.
So you can't even join the other team. Like you can't X to the other team to play.
No, once you hand it off, you stand there. Oh. Yeah. That's the only bummer about that mode. I'm not a big fan of playing just the one position. I mean, it might work in basketball. But with football, it's like, they called the dive. Well, guess I'm standing here. Or if you play running, because you can play running back too. And if they call pass play, you just...
Oh, well, you just run around.
Yeah, or pass block. Yeah.
Block.
So, it's not as good as it works out to be. All right, so now we got some reviews coming up and phone-centric. But first up, the first thing I wanted to say, and Charles has talked about this before, so like I told you, my wife and daughter fell in love with Hulu, even though after those 2 movies, I think I might fall out of love with Hulu. But I already had the Disney Plus. I had it for, I think it's 2 years. They had a deal that came out if you had a Disney credit card. So I added Hulu and ESPN Plus to the bundle for like an extra $7, I think. And it's all paid up in front. So I have now ESPN Plus and Hulu. Hulu, I mean, we've talked about it in linked already, so there's not much I can say about that. I will say I have the.
What do you think of the ESPN Plus side of it?
One thing about Hulu though, they give me like a little 30-second commercial before the show starts, even though it's supposed to be ad-free Hulu.
Oh, I don't know that.
I've been getting that. It's like, here's a Dove commercial, and then once the show starts, I get no commercials.
Okay.
But yeah.
So what did you have to pay over and above you already?
I think it was another
$7.
$7. So it's $12.99. So $6 or something like that.
Well, no, because the commercial free bundle's $18.99.
Oh, is it $18.99? Well, they told me $12.99 the price, but I don't know. ESPN.
So that's why I wonder if that's why you're getting that ad.
Maybe
I don't remember getting that ad.
But I'll sit through the ad in the front and then nothing throughout. I'm fine. I don't want them during it. ESPN Plus is kind of weird. So I watch most of my stuff on my Xbox in my living room, And the ESPN Plus app on that is kind of garbage. So I end up watching it more like in the basement. I'm doing models, or in my room on.
How do you consume it in your basement? What do you do
I
there?
have,
You
well,
threw
my
yours on
my Plex PC's in the basement.
Oh, so you throw it on a monitor?
Yeah,
or something
I can just go right there. One thing I've been enjoying, I've watched the first, because it's one of the, I'm making a Gundam model actually. I have 7 episodes of Peyton's Place. I've watched.
It's a great show.
It's kind of fun.
He's a charming dude. Man.
Yeah, I watched the one with him and Jay Leno, and I watched the one with him and Chris Carter where he's throwing it off that building.
Yeah, it's great.
One with him and Ray Lewis where they're eating crabs and stuff. So I enjoy that show. I like that. I watched that fight from UFC you mentioned.
Yeah.
The one where everyone punched each other. I told you Michelle thought it was intense. So it's got some stuff. But after that, I was looking around. I mean, there's a lot of 30 for 30s.
It's a lot of
might
UFC
watch some
content.
Of those. A lot
Usually,
of UFC. Yeah.
If you don't, if they don't have, like right now, ESPN doesn't have proper sports, so a lot of the UFC content that I'm able to consume on ESPN is usually on ESPN Plus. But right now, because the sports world's done, you're able to at least check it out on ESPN.
I would like to see once basketball starts what's on there. Like our games on ESPN Plus.
What do you mean? Like, as far as a lot of it's like weird EuroLeague soccer.
No, I mean like when the NBA comes back.
No, it's weird
There's
EuroLeague
not?
soccer. They want you to get that league pass if you're getting crazy.
Okay, yeah, okay.
If
And
it's
then
not on TNT or one of the other
so
ones, they want you.
is there any NFL on there?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is there any college football on there?
No, what you're coming to that for is for, like I said, like the random content that's on it, and a lot of like except for me from an MMA perspective, there's a ton of that. And that's why like I said, I like the detail show too. I think the detail show is a little gem of a show. It's on there.
Yeah.
I tend to like that stuff like that, but the big ones are always on the majors, so they don't really share that content too well with the smaller ESPN Plus.
So the one thing I've been watching on a browser a lot. So the one thing I'm not a huge fan of the ESPN Plus is some of the tabs at the top. When you click them, they send you to the ESPN website.
Okay, let's get something out of the way right now. ESPN's website is hot garbage.
Yeah, and I don't want to go to the website. I just
Every
want to stay
video you click on requires a 30-second commercial.
Oh, I hate it.
I'm not here to justify. ESPN through a web browser is nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah,
I will openly
well, the plus
admit
is
that.
incorporated with the website
Well,
on the
but
browser.
you can click on the just plus section and kick over to there.
But there's tabs across the top. Well, I didn't know that. It said NFL. I was like, let's see what they got. Clicked and went poof to the website.
Yeah,
I was
dude,
like, what happened
don't-
here?
I use my Apple TV to consume anything ESPN Plus, so I don't really know of the web. But I know this. Anytime I just need some simple anything from ESPN, it is like nails on a chalkboard just to get anything through that website. And like I said, any video, you click on a 55-second Stephen A. Smith rant, I got a 30-second commercial about a 55-second video. Dude, this is crazy.
They are annoying. Well, isn't there an ESPN website package where you can buy for like $5 a month? I think TTA.
I'm not aware of
I'm pretty
one,
sure
yeah.
there is.
I'm sure there is.
It's anyways, the bundle's fine. My wife and kid are in love with Hulu right now, and like I said, we just watched Hamilton. So right now in a month or so, that's what I'm fearing because I'm already running quickly out of Hulu stuff to watch. Yeah. So, but Holly, as a 16-year-old girl, still has a lot of stuff for her to watch on there. So next on the hardware review, it was new phone week, but Bill, you were mistaken. This new Samsung Galaxy S10 is not mine. It's Michelle's. So this is her birthday gift.
Oh, did she struggle with her? Did she have issues with
No,
her Stylo
she didn't
4?
have any. She had no issues with her Stylo 4.
Okay.
But Stylo 4s take pictures that look like they're taken through butter. The one thing the Stylo 4s, their camera's garbage.
I don't come to cell phones for that.
Well,
so
have you met my wife?
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but Heather's had an iPhone SE and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, getting the SE upgrade, the newest 2020 version, they do take fantastic pictures. So.
Yeah. Well, if there's one Android phone that takes pictures as well, or if not better than Apple, it's the Galaxies. My boss has one, and now Michelle has one. So I will say, I don't have it with me because obviously she needs her phone. It's thin and narrow and long. It's about that width. It's about the width of Charles's, but probably a little bit longer. Actually, it's probably down to here.
Let me get what camera Steve's pointing
Is it
at. Steve
close
doesn't know
about
what
this
camera
size?
pointing at.
Yeah.
Pointed at your camera.
So
there,
the S10's about this long. If you can see where my finger is.
BV, what phone are you hanging up there, BV? What you got?
I have the S9 Plus.
Put it in front of you. We're losing a little bit out of that background.
Bill's looks actually a little wider than Michelle's.
Yeah, so he's got a Plus. So more than likely, he's got a bigger screen.
But I have the version below. I have the S9 Plus.
Now, the weird thing about Galaxies is, and this is so they take great pictures. I took a picture of that little thing on my desk, the Marvel's thing. Crystal clear. I mean, it came out great. It's also got the panoramic view. It's got 3 different cameras. My wife hasn't figured out any of them yet.
It's got the trifecta camera.
Yeah, it's got 3 cameras on the back of it. So I would say I would give the camera edge to the Galaxy over the iPhone. My daughter has iPhone, but iPhone pictures are pretty good. It's actually more megapixels in the X10.
You got like Riri Drummond right now, like filming a TV show on an iPhone. It's a crazy world right now.
Who is Riri Drummond?
Pioneer Woman.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
All
she's using like a weird mobilizer thing with an iPhone 11 filming a TV show. This is crazy.
So, I mean, it was $550 total. So it's $500 plus tax. We paid for it outright. Nice phone. Now, the thing about Galaxies, and like Bill kind of alluded to
what service are you guys going with still?
Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile.
So we're Boost Mobile. We got it from them. They sent it to us. It didn't take long to switch everything over. But here's the one thing about Galaxies. They're a little annoying. So there's the S10, there's the S10 Plus, there's the S10e, there's the S10a. And if you buy any of the wrong one cases, which Howie and Michelle did, they don't fit.
Yeah.
So that's when we ended up at Best Buy to buy a case for her.
First of all, she shouldn't be buying her case at Best Buy.
Well, she
you
wanted
pay
one
3
immediately,
times
didn't
the
want
price.
to wait. Oh, wait till you hear this.
Yeah.
So we sat in Best Buy taking cases out of boxes trying to find the right one.
In front of the weird person?
Yeah, well, he walked away after a while. So
yes, that's what I said. I didn't get that.
We got an official, I really like the case, but man, I didn't like the price. It's $50 for this case.
But on a $500 phone, it's 10% of the phone.
It's one of those ones with a cover that folds.
Okay.
And it has an LED light, so you get a notification. It comes through the case. Like, it's really cool.
For $50,
but for $50, you should do that.
I mean,
so,
dude, what are we talking?
Yeah, well, they did do Amazon.
Online.
And they ordered the wrong one, is what happened. They probably had the S10 Plus and not the S10.
Yeah, you
so
got to be careful.
Those Galaxies, there's like 50 modes. There's 50 different models for everyone. So she loves the phone so far. Nothing wrong with it. I'll report back in 6 months to see how it's going. But I still have my Stylo. The only thing I keep doing is my battery life dies pretty quick. But I got cords everywhere I go, so I'll just plug it in. I'm trying to get another year out of it before I replace it. So, Charles, you got a phone. Tell us about your phone.
So I much like Steve, I had the official phone of the podcast. I had the LG Stylo.
A pair of Starberries and a Stylo.
We got the shoes, we got the phone. Every one of us gets online. So I had an issue. So my Stylo 4 was in my pocket of my gym shorts, and I was downstairs. I wasn't doing anything crazy. And I happened to look down at my phone later, and half the screen was like fuzzy. And I'm like, okay, did I knock this? Did I hit it? What did I do? And me being cheap, because I'm cheap, and aren't we all at some level? That's why we end up with a Stylo 4. I was trying to make it work, but the problem was when I tried to like get into the text message, and the keyboard would come up. It's like that part of the screen had died, so I couldn't even make it work. So I was like, oh snap, I got to get a goddamn new phone. So I went online. I went on Cricket's website because I have Cricket, much like Steve has Boost. And they had the 2020 version of the iPhone SE. Now, I'll openly admit, someone like Steve can't rock this phone.
Yeah, it's too small for me.
It is way too small. To go from a Stylo 4 down to this was a pretty big deal. The only reason why it's okay for me is because my work phone is this size. So I've always had to kind of work with a standard iPhone for a while. But I got to tell you, like, this is a fantastic device. I don't know. It was
iPhones really are.
It was $350. It's got the hot new processor in it. So they basically take an iPhone 8, all the externals of an iPhone 8, and pack that new processor in it. So you don't get the trifecta of cameras that Steve was describing from the Samsung, which, like we were just talking, I don't really come to a phone for that reason.
Yeah,
it's not.
I
really
wouldn't either, but my wife, yeah.
Yeah,
Depends on the user.
Yeah, Heather would probably be in the same boat. Yeah,
most moms.
yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, take a picture of Joey.
Yeah, so far, I'm waiting on a case. I refuse to pay retail prices for a case. I'll just soon baby it for
Now,
a week.
are you a big, chunky protective case guy or a thin?
I
line
like a
kind?
thin. I don't.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get a fancy new hot phone, why do you want this big chunky monkey? Like the worst thing on the planet is one of those otter boxes or whatever.
That's what Michelle had on her old stylo.
Dude,
it was like a brick,
Yeah, it's like
but it was safe. Wasn't gonna break.
great. Yeah, I don't know. But so far I've had this for a week, and I got to tell you, one of the big ways that I noticed it was much better was in the car. So I went from Android Auto to Apple CarPlay. My car doesn't chug as much when this is the thing that it's trying to talk to. So I can at least speak of that. The other thing, and I hit you up midweek, one of the cool things that is available in the Android store is what's called Move to iOS. So on the Android device, you can get this Move to iOS app, and you basically pair it to your new iPhone. It will bring all your stuff from an Android device to your Apple device. I don't know how Google allows this to exist on the App Store or whatever, but that was a really cool thing. I don't think a lot of people know exists out there because not too many people kind of jump ship. But so far I've had it for a little under a week. And the weird part about that stylo thing is 2 days later it started working normal. So then part of me was like, oh, should I cancel my iPhone thing? Because I was being cheap. And I was like, well, it obviously healed itself Wolverine style. Like, what am I doing? But anyway, iPhone SE, give it a look. It's a smaller phone. It's not the Plus as BV was describing. And usually those pluses mean a bigger screen. But I'm cheap. I don't really care. I'm just talking to you or BV on the phone anyway. What do I give a shit?
Well, I just can't text on tiny phones. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
Bill, and what you have a Galaxy, Bill?
Yeah, I have it's an S9 Plus. I've had it for a couple years now.
And you like it?
Yeah, I have no problems with it, but that's like the fourth or fifth Galaxy I've had over the years.
I feel
That's
like
pretty
the
much.
Google Pixel and the Galaxies are the premium Android phones. To me, from what I can see. I don't know too many other ones that are up there with them.
One of the things, if you're going to go down the Android hole, you have to accept a level of jank. There's no other way around it. I mean, if you're going to save money, which you do with an Android device, there's just
you don't save that much with the Galaxy.
No, not that much.
True. Yeah, this is true.
Or the Pixels. The Pixels are expensive too.
Yeah. But like,
but the stylos and the LGs,
kind of
you're going to save a lot of
the
money.
reason why we've got a stylo, I was like, dude, it's $250. So
Literally, I swear to God. So I get to work at 8:30 or 8 o'clock, 8:30, somewhere in there. And by noon, my battery's at 47%.
Really? I didn't have the battery issues that you do. Do you plug it in your F-150 or no?
No.
Okay, I have to plug mine in the bolt to get it to come up. So maybe that's the difference.
Maybe I'm not plugging it in, and then when I get to work, it starts dying. I'll text you or Michelle a couple times, and then I got to plug it in at work. But I have cords everywhere. I got a cord at work, cord in my truck, and cord at home. So even if it dies, I'm good to go. But
That's the beauty part of those eBay special cords.
yeah. Well, Kroger had a bunch of real long ones, real cheap not too long ago, and I bought like 3 of them when I was
They're
there.
completely
They're 10 foot long. I don't know why
they're not even like UL listed. Though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
They're gonna burn your shit
Yeah,
down. but you're
fire
like,
might
"It's
break
cheap."
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. There's a look at everyone's new phones that came in. I'm trying to hold out for another year on my Stylo. We'll see how long we can make it.
Yeah, good luck
There's
to
some
you.
over and unders on that one. So we got a little rapid fire this week. I found some new stuff coming out this week that maybe you guys be interested in. Probably not much for Bill. But first up is Transformers War for Cybertron. This is a Netflix series. It looks CG, but it's based on Generation 1 that we grew up with. This looks pretty fantastic.
I'm oddly intrigued if it's based on Gen 1.
And it's on Netflix. It's coming this
They got
month.
the OG Optimus Prime voice.
Oh, I didn't see. All I saw was action. Nobody was talking. I imagine that guy's everywhere. They use him.
So
for
is
everything.
it CG? It is CG.
It's like yeah.
Or is it
well,
like that weird kind of tweeniness?
It's tweeniness.
Okay.
But it looked great. It did look great. The clips I saw. I'm down for it. I want to see it. I'm big yes on Transformers War for Cybertron. Charles.
If it's got like the Gen 1 stuff, yeah, I'm definitely into some Gen 1 Transformers for
it's
sure.
supposed to take place before the original cartoon series.
Okay.
So this takes place on Cybertron. You remember when the Autobots got in the ship and came to Earth?
Yeah,
it takes place like 2 years before that.
I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah, it does sound good.
So, yeah.
Bill, any Transformers for you?
No, I didn't grow up with Transformers. So, no.
Who didn't grow up with Transformers?
It was on
He
goddamn
was the
Channel 20.
same goddamn age as us. Didn't grow up with Transformers.
Bastard. Him and his CNN. Anyway, Umbrella Academy season 2 is coming out this month. I think around the 17th. This is like a quirky X-Men. I saw the first.
Did you
season.
like the first one?
I
Were you
did.
a
I didn't
fan
love
of
it,
the
but I
first
did
one?
like
it. Was an okay.
I
kinda-
if I had to choose between that or Doom Patrol or Teen Titans, I think Umbrella Academy was the best
Put
one.
Watchmen in there. What would you do?
Umbrella Academy. I really
okay.
didn't care for Watchmen all that much.
I think Watchmen.
Because if you remember, there's weeks where like, are we going to stick with this? I don't know.
I think I stumbled upon a formula when Heather got into it. I think the way to watch the Watchmen is to just not even try to figure anything out.
Oh,
To
just watch
let
it.
Just tell me.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what's happening. Just show me the story.
Yeah.
I think that's the way.
I like this one and The Boys on Amazon. Probably my two favorite superhero shows right now.
Okay.
So I'm a big yes on Umbrella Academy, Charles.
I never watched the first one, so I don't. It didn't intrigue me after me and you had talked and stuff like that. I'm very lukewarm superheroes, as Steve knows all too well. It takes a very okay, I don't want to derail, but I just thought of something. There's a show on that Apple TV Plus coming next year called Foundation. That's based on who Isaac Asimov is, the guy who came up with the artificial intelligence, like the rules that AI is supposed to be governed by. I don't know. Apple TV must be paying a fortune to produce this show. Oh my God, because it looks amazing. It looks. Lorna's like, "Is this a Star Wars movie?" I'm like, "No," but I'm into it. So yeah. Anyway, but I'm gonna be a no, but I'm intrigued. I'll listen to what you say about the new season of this.
Bill, Umbrella Academy, is that up your alley?
You lost me at superhero.
First off, I said X-Men, not superhero.
I don't know, dude. He's oddly
They're not
into
really superheroes. They're just quirky characters with powers. They don't really save anybody. But same difference. Now, next is Muppets Now. Comes out this week. This is a traditional puppet show with the Muppets. I don't know what it's about. I don't know what they're going to do. But this is going to be Disney Plus's Muppet Show. It comes out at the end of the month. Of course, I got a soft spot for the Muppets. I'm a yes, Charles.
I got a huge soft spot for some Muppets. I was gonna watch Fraggle Rock on Apple TV Plus. I don't know what it is. You put a hand
How
up.
did they get Fraggle Rock?
Because it was also HBO too. That was confusing to me. But yeah, I am way into this. Yes. I love the Muppets. I don't know. I was one of the few people that was in that Muppet section at Disney. I couldn't get enough. So yeah.
And Bill, what are your thoughts? You want to watch Muppets?
I like the Muppets, but I really never saw a lot of them when I was younger. So if I get this bundle to see Hamilton and I keep it for any length of time, I'll probably watch it. I should check it out and see what it's like.
All right. And then this next one, Charles already saw. Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire and Saga. Will Ferrell's been striking out quite a bit lately, so I'm a big no. Even after what Charles said, I'm really a big no.
Oh my God.
Charles, obviously, you're a no.
This is a huge disaster of a movie. Stay far, far away from
And Bill,
this.
are you intrigued enough to see this disaster?
You know what? I may have seen the last 5 or 10 minutes of this. This might have been one of those things that I came into the living room while Abby was watching the end of it, and because it sounds kind of familiar. But
What did she think of it? Did she say anything?
I don't think I asked her. So
He just stared at her.
no, I was just like, yeah.
He just shook his
okay.
head and walked out the room.
So yeah, but no,
He's so
I have no-
interested in his wife. Just,
Yeah.
I mean, I like musicals too, but that doesn't mean I'm going to watch this movie.
It's not even really a musical. It's just an abortion.
Yeah. So this is supposed to come out at theaters this month. If theaters open back up, if not, it's video on demand. This is Unhinged. Russell Crowe plays this crazy road rage guy. It's hunting this family down. Wow. He's really dropped since Gladiator. I'm a big no on this one.
And I'm with you. We're a long way from Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Keep
I
hearing
love you,
rumors
Russell
they're going to try to
Crowe.
do a sequel.
God, I'm into it. I just am. So, BV?
No, I've seen the trailer. It looks pretty bad. So no.
Yeah. And this last one, this one I think was supposed to come out at theaters, but Amazon ended up buying it. It's called My Spy. This is Dave Bautista's version of remember the Rock movie with the little girl called The Game Plan? This is kind of the same thing, but he's a spy instead of a football player. It's called My Spy with Dave Bautista on Amazon. I'm a maybe on this one because it's free on Amazon, so a maybe.
You said Amazon. It's a terrible turd of a movie. It's a show. All those Amazon stuff is terrible. I'm a no. BV?
Yeah, I saw a trailer for this too, and it reminded me more of if you ever saw that movie, The Pacifier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
With Vin
garbage.
Diesel? Is Vin Diesel in The Pacifier?
Where he's like he was like a special, government agent, and it doesn't look good to me at all. I'm not going to watch it. And of course, Amazon. So
Yeah, it's a kiss of death.
Oh, one last thing before we go. I did see George Lopez's do stand-up on
Yeah, I
Netflix.
saw that on Netflix.
I saw it. It was pretty good. A little preachy in spots.
Was it?
About immigrants and stuff like that.
You know what's funny is he's in the hotel all the time.
Is he really?
When he tours, I think he stays there because he can get out of the airport pretty quick.
But it was pretty good. It was all about Mexican culture and how they're insensitive and stuff, and I thought that was funny. But he does get a little preachy about the immigrant stuff. But other than that, it's not one of the greatest stand-ups I've seen, but I give it a 7. But anyways, I forgot the...
What's the name
we'll
of
do
it?
it for
I
half.
saw it.
We'll do it
Yeah,
for
that's what
half,
it was,
yes.
yeah.
So,
did you see the Chris D'Elia one too?
no, I heard he got accused of rape or something.
It was I'm not really.
He got
doesn't
assault
do it
charges
for me
on
in the
him.
first place, but I saw a good portion of that last
Of
night.
the rape, or
Wasn't surprised.
Yeah, it was on video.
No, of the stand-up.
did you see that stuff with Adam Savage? My boy Adam Savage from MythBusters. His sister
Yeah.
accused him of some stuff when they were like 13. He's 50. There's like some weird rule in New York where like no limitations or no statute of limitations stuff. Good luck
Yeah.
proving something when you were like a 13-year-old.
What?
Well, what I don't understand about that is I don't know if New York was always like that, but after the whole Bill Cosby thing, a number of states came and they changed their laws to where there's no statute of limitations on sex crimes. What I don't understand is how that could possibly then apply to things that happened well before the law was enacted, unless New York just was always that way, which I don't think was the case.
No idea.
That should only apply to things that happen after the law is enacted. And how do you? I mean, with a lot of these, how do you prove any of that?
From like when
And
you're
with-
13. I don't know what's going on. That's
and the way
crazy.
things, and the way
You're the lawyer in the room. Me and Steve.
Well,
I
no,
punch toilets and Steve
kind of
does
the
web
thing,
design.
is that, and part of the problem that I have with this is not. I'm sure some of these claims are legitimate, but on a case by case basis, when you're claiming, like the what is that guy's name? The guy that played on that '70s show was Hyde.
Yeah, Danny Masterson.
He's got a shitload
Yeah,
against him.
he's been accused of things from the early 2000s or the night. I think it was like 2002, 2003. Like unless a rape was actually reported at the time that it happened, how is there any evidence that would actually?
Well, that's a weird case because they're saying that he's part of Scientologists, and the Scientologists
it's like
are
a
part of the
weird-
police force.
Like
and they
Leah
kinda-
Remini is
There's a
obviously,
whole weird
yeah.
thing going there. That's that's going to be a Lifetime movie in a couple years.
The thing is, though, is that the way the sort of the cultural climate has gone, you have a lot of people that are being accused of things from 20, 30 plus years ago. And it really seems like they're going to be presumed guilty and almost have to prove that they're innocent, which is the complete
Opposite of supposed to be.
opposite of what our system's supposed to be based upon.
Well, Bill Cosby tried to tell us.
Bill Cosby trying to tell. What is Bill Cosby lecturing you about?
All right, Charles, what's happening with pugilism and punch you in the face and strongman contest?
Yeah, well, not strongman, hot dog eating contest.
Oh, okay.
I decided to throw you for a loop today.
Oh, man.
So, first of all, to the UFC. Gilbert Burns, who was supposed to be fighting Kamaru Usman for the title.
No, Gilbert Burns, not Gilbert Godfrey?
Not Gilbert Godfrey.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Don't
he's
like him.
he's still busy. He's like part of the Me Too washout, too.
Yeah.
So he tested positive for COVID-19. Now, what this is one of those precursors. I still don't know how the NBA gets all their stuff together. You got so many moving parts in the NBA. Good luck to you. But he's another asymptomatic person who got popped for a positive test. So that takes him, excuse me, out of the main event for UFC 251 on Fight Island.
Oh,
Yeah, well, good news is Jorge Masvidal, who's crazy and down for a fight no matter where it is, you could just call him to a random 7-Eleven to fight someone tomorrow, steps up, he's ready to go, but it also is contingent on whether or not he can pass and be positive or be negative for the COVID-19. So big changes happening. We'll see. This is supposed to be next Saturday. Me, you, and BV are still down for this. I'm definitely into it. So we got to see
we gonna do
Fight
it in
Island.
person here? Or?
I don't know. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
I can get out of the house.
Nice. Just whatever you can do to get out of the house. And then the other big thing is Nathan's Hot Dog Championship happened this past Saturday, or the 4th of July. It's an annual tradition. So Joey Chestnut, the Michael Jordan
Before
of
you go
all
on,
things.
what were some of the stipulations because of COVID? Were they spaced out or?
So they had a whole thing where they were like on a stage, no audience. They had plexiglass in between each one of the eaters.
Oh,
and that's how they kind of did social distancing. BV, did you catch it at all?
Oh yeah, I watch it every year.
See, it's great.
It's hilarious. Yeah, they were indoors too, so and they had like
good.
they had a very small percentage of people competing than they would normally have. So
But yeah,
it
so
was-
Joey Chestnut in the time ate 75, setting a world record. He's also the longest reigning champion of the hot dog eat, 13-time mustard belt champion. Pour one out for the Michael Jordan of hot dog eating, Joey
Now,
Chestnut.
what kind of money does he get for being this? Eater?
$15 in a case of hot dogs. I don't know. I have no
Does he get
idea.
these hot dogs for life?
Dude, who wants a fucking hot dog if you ate 6
That's
dozen?
my next question. After you do all this, like later in the year, someone's like, "Let's get some hot dogs." Are you like, "No"?
Imagine if you're at a baseball game, like they're talking about this on the radio, and someone's just sending the hot dogs your way. Like, dude, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
dude, imagine the shit the next day. People always talk about it. It's a legitimate question. Like, I'd watch a YouTube video of him hitting the bathroom and just like, oh. So, and then the other one, Miki Sudo. So the Japanese are very big into eating competitions as well. For the female, she set a record with 48 and a half hot dogs. Oh, man. I love the Nathans. I can't get enough of it. When they're sitting there double fisting those hot dogs, dipping them in the water. Oh, my God, dude. I love it. I can't get enough. I'm like BV. I watch it every year. I can't get enough. So, anyway, that's your Nathan's report.
Yeah, her boyfriend, by the way, was competed in the men's, and I think she outate him by about 10 or 12 hot dogs.
What does she look like?
Little Japanese chick.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Move the scroll up.
Sorry.
So there you go. Eating hot. Oh, I can't
As
move
I
it
can
up. So eating hot dogs, everything else. Now, does anyone here watch the Ozarks in breaking news?
No, I know you do, but I don't.
It-
It's a very popular show. It's got a Breaking Bad kind of following, and people
Yes.
love it and all that kind
Bill,
of
have
stuff.
you watched that show or no?
I watched the first half of the first season, and it didn't do it for me, so I bailed on it.
A lot of people like the show. It is basically Jason Bateman's version of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Season 4 was just announced for Netflix that it will be broken into 2 parts. I don't understand why shows do this. So in the fall, you're going to get the first 6 episodes. In the spring, you'll get the last 6 episodes, and that will
I
be
can see it from a streaming perspective to kind of temper out those episodes a little bit. I
Yeah.
think I get that. Where I don't get it is, if you're already on like certain delays and all that kind of stuff, like a regular TV show, I don't get it. But
Yeah, and this will be, as announced, the last season, which is good because those kind of shows, because they're
They need a definitive
they're an
end.
anti-hero. So either they're going to die or they're going to live happily ever after. It's one of the two, right? So, or some of them will die, So the last season's coming this year and next year for the Ozarks, if anyone's into that. Now, streaming TV prices, I always like to make sure we're up to date on these because they are slowly creeping up there with cable.
Correct, yeah.
Now, the latest one to get a price hike is YouTube TV. Now, this affects because Randy has YouTube TV.
how does he like it? I don't know much about. I've never. That's the one of the few that I've never. Gotten.
He liked it. He signed up 2 weeks ago for it for $50, and now he's getting a price hike.
Oh, he's not locked in for X amount of time.
No, this is price hikes for everybody.
Oh,
so
okay.
good luck to you. So YouTube TV is not going to be $65 a month, but they did add a couple of channels to their service, but they were weird. It wasn't like ESPN Plus or anything like that. It was just some weird. I forget the name of the stations, but it's some none of us guys watch very often. Like 2 or 3 new stations. Might have been the Hallmark
Are
channel. I
you
don't know.
guys are you into the Peacock thing is launching soon? Is that interesting for any of you guys? The NBC
no.
app or anything like that?
No.
How many of these apps? I just don't get.
Yeah, it's getting crazy.
Crazy.
So now $65 for that. You got 13 for your Netflix. You got X amount for your Hulu. You're getting up there, getting close to cable. Then you got to pay for internet on top of that. Your cable bill is going to be about as much as my streaming bill, or vice versa. So I thought I always like to keep track on those prices because I feel like in 5 years they're going to be like $75 a month, and then before long, and they always blame it. The streaming providers
It's
always
like
blame it
content.
on the channels because the channels are
They
charging
always blame
more.
it on the content provider.
Yeah, and then the content provider says, no, it ain't us, and blah, blah, blah. So who knows? Now, if you are on PlayStation Plus subscriber, which is $50 a year, you on July 7th can get a free copy of NBA 2K20.
Seems like a great value.
That's a good value. Now, it's been on sale for $30 mostly for the past 4 or 5 months. But if you want to play basketball, I haven't played a 2K game in a while, so I'll probably download it for free.
I gotta tell you though, like if you're gonna argue like values and stuff like that, the Game Pass on Xbox is still where it's at as far as your value for like content and all that kind of stuff. I just don't think it compares. I think PlayStation is a very distant second in that scenario. If you ask my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right, but the problem is with the Game Pass, like I said before, if you're an avid gamer, you've probably played most of the games on the Game Pass. They don't get a lot of new stuff very often. Like even this NBA 2K20's on there, not on there. They got 2K19. So
Yeah, but maybe it's one of those things where you have to like slow your roll and play the long game.
take a year out. But nonetheless, it is a great value. But you can get NBA 2K20. This has the guy with the unibrow on the cover. Who is that, Bill, in the NBA?
Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis. That's it. He's on the cover. But I've heard there's a lot of microtransactions in this game. So if you want to, but they're all visuals. They don't. So if you want like the new Nike shoes for your player, you got to pay a couple bucks. And so it is kind of microtransaction heavy. This game is, but you can still play the base game for free.
I never understood dressing up a digital character. I never understood that. It's solely, it's one of the few things as far as video game culture that's just completely lost on me. Like unless it can actually affect the outcome of the game, which none of those like weird costume things can. I don't understand it. I don't.
Like at Call of Duty, I bought a pack that unlocked some weapons and stuff, and then it came with a guy with a skull mask on it. So I used the guy with the skull mask, but I didn't buy it because of him. I bought it because the weapons were unlocked. And it was only $9, so it's not like I didn't break the bank. But I can see if everyone's the same character running around. I mean, I can see why some people want to do it if it's reasonable. I want, some want to charge $20.
Cosmetic doesn't do it for me. I'll be honest.
Oh, okay. Now, either one of you guys familiar with drift in a controller?
I
know
am.
what that's?
Yeah, that's when basically it doesn't zero out, so you got a slight wobble or wonk to the controller. Yeah.
So apparently on the Nintendo Switch, it's happening on the Joy-Cons. A lot of the older versions have this drift in it. If you're playing Mario, for example, you have to be very precise.
Yeah. One of the things that Nintendo typically does is very good controllers.
Yes.
That will be very precise because, like, you hit the nail on the head. The reason why those Nintendo platformers are so amazing is because you can hit those precise jumps and that timing and all that kind of stuff. But if they lose that, that's kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, and so it's happening in their Joy-Cons, and a class action lawsuit has been put against them because
I
of
can see why, man. That Switch stuff is really expensive.
Yeah, and those Joy-Cons alone by themselves,
like $90.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Overpriced.
And if you want a kooky color like my daughter wants, oh my god.
Yeah, so I can't really argue the lawsuit there. What do you think's going to happen? They're going to send out certificates to people to get a new Joy-Con? Yeah.
Or do like a redemption program. Like we'll bring
you
them back
send them in and you get a new set. So Nintendo is getting you don't hear about them getting sued very often. They're usually the ones suing people.
You don't hear Nintendo getting sued very often.
Well, where like Sony got sued because of the privacy breach a while back. Microsoft, every time their network goes down, they get fucking suits against them. So and
the
then
biggest
EA
class
Sports
action was that Red Ring of Death. Oh my god!
Yeah,
those,
that
those
was a class
360s
action.
were hot garbage, man.
There was a class action against Madden one year because I got a $1.65 check.
$1.65?
Yeah, I don't even know what it was for.
Nice.
It was some false advertisement.
What
on
did you
Madden's
do
part.
with your $1.65?
Threw it in the bank. Forgot about
Threw
it.
it in the bank.
Yeah,
You threw it in your couch cushions.
yeah. It's like I don't know, but there you go. So now back for another generation comes a classic from the '90s that even Bill liked. This animation, Beavis and Butthead, have officially come back for 2 seasons on Comedy Central.
Comedy Central, not MTV. Huh?
Not MTV, no. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think it's music videos.
Well, because that's what I was going to ask. Like, does it really hold up? Is what
rumor is it's going to be like kind of like a TikTok videos and stupid videos they're going to be watching on the internet and making fun of.
Got into it. I'm listening, Comedy Central. I'm in.
Yeah. Bill, your thoughts? You were a big Beavis and Butthead fan. What are your thoughts?
I'll probably watch it because of the nostalgia, but I'm a little bit confused as to how they're gonna as to like kind of Charles's point, how they're going to make it work with today's
Modern
world where there really are no
audiences,
music
yeah.
videos. And I mean, are they still going to be kind of everything heavy metal rules and everything else sucks? And how are they going to do anything but just make
Yeah, because there
stupid
really
stuff?
is no heavy metal at this point, right?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there's
they
really
have some
nothing.
shine
There's
down
like
shirts
yeah,
on.
stained and disturbed or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know.
There's
but yeah, there's a lot of questions.
There's a
we could ask
chance this
Bert.
could be really bad, but I
But
mean, I
if-
will watch to see.
If they're watching funny YouTube videos and ripping on them, I might have to. That's pretty good. if they do
Instead of
that.
ridiculousness, I'll watch Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And they've already been okayed for 2 seasons, so you're gonna get at least 2 seasons of them. So we'll find out. And it is Mike Judge. He's back. He's animating, doing the voices, producing.
I gotta watch. You're ticking a lot of boxes for 19-year-old Charles. Not even like
Out of
15-year-old
curiosity, I
Charles.
feel all 3 of us will watch.
I saw too. I saw that. What do you call it? HBO Max has got all the seasons of South Park.
Yeah.
I was even gonna go back.
Some of
and
them have been removed or censored or something. I don't know because of the times we're in.
Yeah.
But, well, there's some Simpsons ones on Disney Plus that got removed too.
Whoa.
Allegedly. I don't know. That's what I keep hearing. And I imagine there's got to
What
be
did The Simpsons do? I wonder.
there's got to be some Family Guy ones that got removed.
What are you talking
But we'll see. I don't know for a fact. Now, Ren and Stimpy, when they relaunched, it was terrible. Remember that?
I
That
didn't
was
watch
really
any of the
bad.
relaunch.
Oh,
stuff.
it was
BB, Did you
nothing
watch
like-
it?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. It was horrible.
It was on Spike TV. It was nothing like the Nickelodeon show. It was like,
Man,
what is
that's
this?
a bummer because Ren and Stimpy can be funny.
It wasn't when it came back. I was like,
It was
so,
great when it was first out.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't have high hopes right now, but I hope so. I mean, please. So that is your news. And Charles, what did you want to ask about the fireworks?
Yeah, so just curious, going around the room, just checking on people. How did everyone fare? You've got 2 little dogs. BV's got a dog. How did you guys fare during the 4th of July festivities in your neighborhoods? BV, where did you end up?
It wasn't too bad, although it seems to affect the dog more this time than it ever has before. She's usually been pretty oblivious, but I think we were close enough to the city's fireworks. They did this drive-up fireworks display.
That's weird.
That you could hear. You could kind of hear their. You could tell it was a coordinated show because there was just the frequency of it going up and whatnot. There were a couple times where nearby people let off what sounded like cannons going off, and that freaked her out.
A
But
couple
it
cannons
was-
go kablooey.
no, it was just really loud. It's to the
Make
point
sure
where it's,
windows shake. We got a couple of those.
yeah. But I will say that it pretty much all tapered off around 11:30, 12 o'clock, and I expected them to go well into the middle of the night, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Steve, how'd you and your hound dogs fare? It doesn't sound too
Fucking Taylor. First off, it's been going on since June 19th, so I've been dealing with this.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth. It's been just insane and they still haven't run out of fireworks. Last night it was Iraq. It was crazy. Shit. Got house two houses down from us. Had to have at least $2,000 worth of fireworks. You just
Well, and that's what I was kind of telling Heather because behind us, we let Lorna stay up. We did a night swim for the first time Lorna's ever done a night swim. And these people are booming these things off. I'm like, they're spending a couple G's on the fireworks.
They said the fireworks stand on the hill right there on Outer Drive in Southfield. They closed because they sold out. They got
They
bought
had
out.
no more
They had
fireworks.
no more fireworks. They didn't have a
That's
sparkler
the
left.
craziest
That's
thing.
how much people were buying these things.
That's crazy.
So now we go into the saga of Daisy. Now we all know Daisy on the podcast. My little dog, crooked leg, snagglepuss,
yeah.
hates fucking fireworks. Hates them with a
we
passion.
talked about how you got to get the treat.
Yeah, we've been treating and drugging her. So we put puppy pads down. 2 puppy pads, 1 for each dog.
Oh, because they'll flake out that bed. They'll lose control.
No, they literally won't go outside after 7 p.m.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Go outside. No, dog goes runs. Like we pick her
Whoa.
up, put her outside. She just
Do you
runs
feel
back
her
to the door.
shaking and stuff
Oh
when you
yeah,
pick
she
her
won't.
up?
She won't even go outside. So here it is, senior dog, 12 years old, 2 puppy pads. Where's the dog piss? In between the 2 puppy pads on the floor. I was like,
Jesus.
you gotta be kidding me. Next night, she's back in the game room with me. I said, oh, hey, Daisy, all right? Yeah. And then she walks away. Why is she back? Go in my bedroom. Big old puddle of piss again.
Oh,
she ignores the puppy pads and pisses where she wants.
She's freaking out.
Oh,
man.
yeah,
Dog
she is.
freaking
And
out.
she's shaking and stuff. Usually, if we could time it right,
Yeah.
she's going to be passed out by 8 p.m. and then we're good. She's out until the next
home
morning.
fireworks are so bad this year because there's no
I knew it was gonna be
municipals,
bad.
man.
Yeah, I was like, we're fucked. We're getting piss stains everywhere. Lily's fine. Doesn't bug Lily at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's shocking.
But Daisy,
oh man,
the mouthiest
you figure
dog.
that one would feed off the other a little bit.
Nah, no, Daisy don't give a fuck. The fireworks, they're gonna go kill me. They take off. She will not. Literally, about 7 o'clock, she has an internal timer. Like she'll go outside all day.
She can sense like the
Once
sun
7
going down.
p.m. hits, she knows shit's about to happen, and she won't walk out that door. I will physically carry her out, put her in the grass. She'll run off the grass and run back to the door.
Wow,
She will not piss after 7 p.m.
that is an anti-fireworks hound.
That
right
dog
there,
hates-
boy.
We've had the sweater, we've had the coats, we've had the pills. I mean, it's just every year. 12 years of this. She hates fireworks. So it makes 4th of July not one of my favorite holidays.
Wow.
I was never a fan anyways, but yeah. But there you go. That's what Daisy's doing. And, of course, you were fine because you have no dogs now. So.
Yeah, a little different around our house. For
Did
sure.
any of your dogs even care about it when they were alive?
Wino didn't like him, but he didn't have the degree that Daisy did. Jeez, Louise.
They had big vagina.
Magoo didn't give a shit about him.
He's like, yeah, whatever, I gotta sleep. Yeah. But yeah, the problem is I feel bad drugging her. You know, it's I don't know, it's a very mild sedative.
Like
I don't know.
melatonin thing
Yeah.
or something like that.
But the next morning, she's still kind of screwed up from it. Like she's
Oh,
she's
geez, you got that
drunk.
grogginess.
It takes her to about 9 a.m. for it to finally wear off, which is a bummer. But I don't know what to do. The dog's panicking and running in circles. But you know, what are you gonna do? So that's gonna wrap us up for our 4th of July weekend. I hope
Hey.
everyone enjoyed their hillbilly fireworks. I saw some couple funny memes. The guy was out on a boat with fireworks and a big American flag and an American G-string pushing weights. He's like, America!
Yeah.
I was like, well, that basically sums it up. So, of course, you can catch us on Google Play, Apple iTunes, on the website, fatguyslittlepodcast.com.
On the YouTube. and
YouTube,
everything.
you can catch some gameplay there. I'm going to have Hitman 2 up this week. We'll see what
Well,
see how that is.
hopefully, if this worked today, which it looked like it did pretty good, we'll start to do the multi-stream. So we'll stream to the different
back to the
platforms
Twitch and
all
stuff like that.
So
If we had any technical difficulties, let us know. So we're trying
I'm
to work
sure
things
my
out.
wife would have let me know by now. She'd have come in like waved at me.
Yeah, so, and of course, we want to thank Bill, and I hope Bill had a great 4th of July, and he always looks happy. He did not get his impossible sausage today. He did not wake up in time. I've literally set a reminder to Michelle, like, make sure I get up before 9 so I can get the stupid impossible sausages.
You got that BK kind of right by your house.
Yeah,
too, so-
it makes more sense for me to grab them. And of course, this is Steve and
Charles.
Catch you next week.